right, the first one. Some of these are super easy. I don't know how many I have planned to put on here. There are 33. It'll probably be like anywhere between 25 and 30. Okay, won't be more than 33 definitely. It's just coming straight from this. Okay, so on this first one, what do you do to solve for B? Yeah, you can think about it. What do I add to 3 to get 3? 0. Or you can solve it like we've learned how to solve. You can subtract 3. And what's 3 minus 3? 0. B is 0. Okay? Number 2. I'm going to write it over here. 16 equals negative D plus 6. What do I do on this one? Subtract the 6. So I get 10 equals negative D. Is that what D equals? No. That has a negative sign in front of the D. So you must move it. Okay, like you can think, let me divide by -1 or just change all the signs. I don't know how your brain needs to think of that. But if I change this to a positive D, what do I change that 10 to? A negative 10. You just change it to the opposite. Okay? Or multiply it by -1. Is everybody good with that one? Yep. I hope so. Okay, the next one, I'm going to write on here so I have plenty of room. I have 6 over 7 times x minus 8 equals 7. What am I going to do with that 8? Add it. I'm going to move it to the other side. So I get 6 over 7x equals, what's 8 plus 7? 15. Then what am I going to do? So you can think, okay, we need to divide by this fraction, but taking a fraction and dividing by it is kind of a difficult concept to think of. So you could multiply by the reciprocal. I bet, though, if you type in your calculator 15 divided by 6 over 7, if that's how your calculator can probably do that for you. But I taught you to multiply by the reciprocal, multiply by 7 over 6. Do y'all remember that when you flip it? So the 7s would cancel out and the 6s cancel out. See, that's what you want to happen. That's why you flip it, because you want the 7s and the 6s to cancel out. So over here I get an x, and over here I'm multiplying by, when it's flipped, and what's 15 times 7 divided by 6?
15 what?
Divided by 7, times 7 divided by 6, sorry. 17.5. I said that backwards, whoever asked on that. 15 times 7 divided by 6. Yeah, and it was 17.5. Which answer is 17.5? A. Can everybody see that? Yes, I hope so. This all goes way back, right, to chapter 1. Number 4. 16 equals -5 plus z over 4. Then what am I going to do? I have a big fraction. Yeah, multiply by 4. Let's get rid of that denominator. So I multiply by 4.
Multiply 16 by 4.
Let's get back to this. I'm sorry. All right. So I multiply by that denominator so that it goes away. Like, that's why you always do the opposite. It'll cancel out. So the 4's cancel out. And over here, I get -5 plus z. And then what's 4 times 16?
64.
64. One more step. There's one other number over there with the z. It's a -5, so I'm going to add 5. And we get z is 69. So your answer on that one is A. All right, let's keep going. No? Question? No?
I don't know what I was doing yesterday. This is so much different than how I did it. I still
Got the right answer?
Yeah, I don't know how I did it, but
Well, if y'all have questions, I'll post the video, so at least you'll have that up there. 5d minus d minus 2d plus 8 minus 3d equals 0. Do you see a bunch of things that have like terms?
Yeah.
So let's combine those. All right? If I have 5D minus 1 minus 2 minus 3. If you needed to, you could type that in your calculator. So 5, 4, 2, negative 1D. Is that what y'all get? That's what I get. I have a negative 1D or a negative D. You can write that either way. You could put a 1 there if you want. Plus 8 equals 0. Then what do I have to do?
Subtract 8.
Subtract that 8. So negative D equals negative 8. Then what?
You have to like move that negative.
Multiply by positive.
Hold up.
Or negative 1.
Alright.
And it'll be D. Okay, I'll answer your question. Multiply by a negative 1, or just think changing it, and D equals 8. What are you confused about?
Where did you get negative D?
Okay, if I type in your calculator 5 minus 1 minus 2 minus 3, right? Isn't that what that says?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And it's going to give you negative 1. So you could have put a 1 there, but you don't have to. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Anybody else have a question? No? We're good? Is this easy? We're remembering all this? Okay. Number 6. 3 times y minus 5 plus 2 equals 5. What do I do with that 3? Distribute. So I get 3y minus 15. That's all I distribute it to. And I write everything else down. 3 times y, 3 times 5. Okay? Can I add negative 15 and 2 together? I can. Those are like terms right here next to each other. So I'll bring down my 3y minus 13 equals 5. Then what?
Plus 13.
Add 13. So 3y equals 18. Then what? Divide by 3, and what is y going to equal?
6.
Y equals 6.
Oh, my phone.
Okay. Am I writing? We're good? Okay, number 7. Let's keep going. 7 has 6x minus 3 equals 5x minus 5. So on this one, we have x's on each side. So I must move one of them. I always move the smaller one, so I'm going to move the 5x. So I'll subtract it from both sides. So what's 6x minus 5x? 1x minus 3 equals negative 5. Then what do I do? Add 3. And x is negative 2. So that was B. All right, any questions on the first page? Done with the first page. We're good? All right, number 8. All right, it says car A travels 180 miles in 7 hours. I'm just going to write that down. 180 miles in 7 hours. Car B travels 350 miles in 4 hours. And car C travels 584 miles in 15 hours. Which car has the fastest average speed? This is A, B, and C. I think I can tell just by thinking about it, you know, like without even doing anything, which car I would rather be in, all right, time-wise. But let's divide it and see. What's 180 divided by 7?
25.7.
25.7.
So they're going 25.7 miles an hour is what that's saying. It's pretty slow. All right, let's divide 350 divided by 4. 87.5. That's like Dan right there.
That's not mine.
Okay, that's definitely not me. About 87.5 miles an hour. That's a lot. All right, now let's do 584 divided by 15.
38.9.
38.9. So can you tell which one's going the fastest? And that's what it says, the fastest average speed. My goodness, that's a lot. It's B, right? Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
You should tell that to my mom.
87. I don't drive like that. I don't drive like these either, though. I'm like right where I should be. Okay. Everybody good with that one? It's just that easy. You're just comparing, finding their average. All right, just divide them. Okay. Number 9. 13 over y equals 3 over 8. Do y'all remember how to solve these? These are proportions.
I only know how to do this because
8
I
times-
have no Felicity.
8 times 13. So we called it cross multiplying. It's been a while, I know. So what is 8 times 13? 104. And then you multiply the y and the 3. So you get 3y. Questions on that part? So it's cross multiplying when they have a proportion like that. Now you have one more step. What are you going to do to solve for y? Divide by 3. So we get y is what? What's 104? 34.6 repeated. And so you can see their answer choices, and they rounded. It's 34.7. Y'all, if I go too fast, ask me to explain it again. We've got time. That's a baby. That sounds like a baby, maybe.
Cindy walked out and she said, "This is a baby."
No. Okay. Number 10. Oh, wait, do we have a question?
I have question number 10.
Okay, we'll get to number 10. Number 10, actually, I'm going to write it on this paper now. Look, there are several ways that you can write this proportion. It doesn't matter as long as you are consistent. And I'll show you what I mean. I don't know if y'all have done this one or not, but I'm going to say that the 16 corresponds or goes with the 25. Does everybody see that? So, because they kind of look like they're on the same part of the triangle. So I'm going to put the 16 with the 25. I'm making a proportion. Okay? If the 16 goes on top, the 25 on the bottom, what do I write next? The X on top and the 9 on the bottom. You did not have to write your proportion that way, as long as you're consistent. But you are trying to match them. Okay? Is everybody good with that? All right. Now what am I going to do?
16 times 9.
Yep, 16 times 9, 144 equals 25x, right? Because I multiply those. Then what do I do? Divide by 25. And what's 144 divided by 25?
5.76. So
5.8. 5
One
points.
question. How are you figuring this out so fast, Jane?
She already did it. Oh, okay. I thought maybe you had already done it.
I have, but
Yeah, because I didn't know all those numbers. I'm just counting on somebody else to tell me. Does anybody want me to set it up a different way to show you, or does everybody get that? You're just matching the sides of the triangle. This one goes with this one. This one goes with this one. You could have written the 25 first over 16 equals 9 over x.
why do you have Dad's name on the calendar?
Birthdays and who shared it.
What? Oh, yeah, that's his birthday. People were writing their names. Jesse Kate, Dad, Ryder.
Can I write my birthday on there?
Is it in December? All right, any questions? Anybody still writing? Oh, yeah. Are we good? Questions? I can go back. Okay. All right, next one then, number 11. Scratch that out and let's do number 11 here. 3 is less than or equal to 3x minus 15. Y'all, this is the same thing we've already done on that whole first page, right? We just have a different sign. So, what am I going to move first? The 15. It says minus 15, so what's the opposite? Add 15. Is everybody good with that? We're quiet now. So I get 18 less than or equal to 3x. Then what am I going to do? Divide by 3. There's a 3 over there with the x, so let's divide by it. So I get 6. Oh, I see. They did theirs different. All right, well, we can still read it. Which answer choice do they give me that is bigger than 6 or equal to 6? Out of A, B, C, and D.
6.
Huh?
6.
6. It's D. Your answer is D. Which you could have plugged all those numbers in to try them out, but I still think this might be the easiest way. You could have just plugged each number in on number 11, or just say, okay, what number is bigger than or equal to 6? The 6 was.
Wait.
Uh-huh. All right, here's number 12. D is less than 2. Is it an open or a closed circle? Open circle. Does anybody not know why?
Okay, so that's something I'm confused on. Close
Okay.
is not
Open.
equal to.
No, closed circle will have the equal. That means it's equal to it. That's why you color it in, because it's equal to it. So you're including it. So you would color in the little circle. But when it doesn't have an equal to sign, you don't include the line underneath. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. When there's not a line underneath, it's an open circle. Okay? So if it's this, it is a closed circle. You are including the point. All right? You include that point. And I said this wrong a second. If you have this without the line underneath, it is an open circle. That's what I meant to say. Okay? So what is this one going to have? An open circle. There are only 2 answer choices with open circles, right? You have narrowed it down to B or D. Now, it says D is less than 2. Which one looks like it's less than 2?
B.
B. Okay? And it doesn't include 2. That's why it's an open circle. It's all the numbers that are less than 2. Okay, do we understand that? Okay. Number 13. Is that one going to be, what kind of sign? Does that one have the equal sign or no? Yeah, it has the little equal sign underneath it. Okay? So, you know it's either this one now. Well, we know it's not B. What number does it look like it's at? Negative 1/2. It's at negative 1/2. And are we bigger or less than? Are we greater than or less than? Greater than. So it's M is greater than or equal to negative 1/2. Can everybody see that it's C? Yeah? No?
Wait.
Closed circle, so it's got the equal to sign. It starts at negative 1/2. So we've got a negative 1/2, not a positive. And we're going to numbers that are bigger than negative 1/2. Aren't all of these numbers bigger? So that's why we put the greater than.
I got that one wrong too because I didn't know the open and close. But
That math. Now you know it?
It's
You feel better? Okay. All right. Are we good with that? Keep going. Number 14. 14 has 4x plus 6 is less than negative 6. So we're going to find our answer. I think that's all they want. It says what are solutions. So how do I solve this one?
You gotta
Subtract 6 from both sides. So I get 4x is less than negative 12. Then what? Divide by 4. So x is less than negative 3. So that answer choice is A.
So you just keep your sign the same way.
Yes, until we multiply or divide by negative. Yeah, that's when they'll flip it. We're getting there. Okay, number 15. This is, okay, I'll stop. Still all this old stuff. Almost to the new stuff.
Wait, I thought that on these,
Uh-huh.
we're dividing by a negative to split the sign.
That's right. What did I divided by a positive 4. So do I flip the sign? No. But wait a second. I'm sure we'll have one. I hope we'll have one where we divide by negative in a second. All right, let's look at this one. Negative 2 times 3x plus 2 greater than or equal to negative 6x minus 4. So I'm going to do what? Distribute my negative 2, right? Let's do that first. That means multiply it to everything inside parentheses, there and there. Negative 6x minus 4 greater than or equal to negative 6x minus 4. Some of you may notice something already.
It's like already.
It's the exact same thing, right? Do I have an equal sign with it? Yeah, see that little line underneath there? So that one is going to be all real numbers. Say you can't see that yet. and you kept solving it, like I would add 6x to both sides. So those all go away. Is -4 greater than or equal to -4? Yeah, it's equal to it. So it's all real numbers. What if it wasn't equal? What would we have put? No solution. Like if I put 3 is greater than 5. Is that true? So I would have put no solution. But this one is true. -4 is greater than or equal to -4. It's equal to it. So that one's all real numbers. Are we good? No? Question? Not supposed to. I mean, is it an emergency?
I can sneak in there.
What?
I can sneak in there.
I don't know. If it becomes an emergency, you can go. If you can wait. I know that's a long time. I hate saying no, but there's a rule. Anyway. Okay. If you really need to go, you can go. All right, this one says, what are all the subsets? What's the first one that I write?
0 with a line.
Yeah, the empty set, because there could be one that doesn't have an answer, so you can put that. And then what are all the pieces of it?
-1.
Okay, we have a -1, then what?
9.
A 9,
And a 10.
and then we have both of them. Like, you're just writing down all the answers. So, yep, it's C. All right, let's see what's next. Number 17. This one you have 2 problems. Does everybody kind of see that? It's a compound inequality. So we're going to have 2 parts to our answer. So what I'm going to do, I'll write what they have first. And then I'm going to split that up into my 2 parts. So let me just cover this one first. Let me cover that first inequality. So I write 2x minus 4 is less than 8. Everybody good with that? Then let me cover my other one. So I'm going to write that part. -2 is less than or equal to 2x minus 4. Is everybody good with my 2 problems? Okay, now I'm going to solve them. And you actually solve them both the exact same way. I'm going to add 4. So over here I get a 2. Then what do I do? Divide by 2. So we get a 1. X is greater than or equal to 1. That's my first answer. Now let's go find my other. I'm going to add 4. So we get 2x is less than 12. Then what? Divide by 2. And x is less than 6. So I can tell my numbers are between what 2? 1 and 6. Do y'all see an answer choice that matches that? C. Where it goes from 1 and it's equal to it, and it goes up to 6, but it's not equal to that. Does everybody see that it's C? And then they graph it for you, but you can already tell that's the only one with 1 to 6. Are we ready for 18? Yep. Anybody?
C, right?
Yeah, C. 17 is C. All right, number 18. A movie store sells DVDs for $11 each. So how would you write the cost? The cost is what? $11 each. What letter did they use? N. Because if it was 1 DVD, how much would it cost? $11. 11 times 1. If there were 2 DVDs, how much would it cost? So you're multiplying. Does everybody see that? 11 times 2. And so on. So it's the cost is 11 times N. Anytime it has the word each or per, there was another one, I can't think of it. You're multiplying. Okay? Then, is it discrete or continuous? Discrete. Can you buy? Yeah, you can't buy half a DVD. So it's discrete. Number 19, it says 6N, well, they use this little thing. Isn't that what it says? Okay. That's the number of light bulbs that are needed for however many chandeliers you have. Okay, how many light bulbs are needed if you have 15 chandeliers? What are you going to do with that 15? Yeah, it's just 6 light bulbs for each of those 15. That's why you're multiplying. What's 6 times 15? 90? Okay, so your answer is A. Those two are not bad, are they? All right, now we're starting with the new stuff. Are we ready? Number 20. What's the slope? Did y'all already do all these? Yeah. Do I need to go over them, or do y'all just want the answers? And do you want me to just go over all of them? I'll go over all of them. Okay. Find the slope of the line. So what I would do, if I were you, I would just pick some points where I can tell exactly where they are, and then use rise over run. So I can tell where this point is. I can tell where that point is, or this point. See how those are the ones that are at the corners? Like I can tell exactly where those are. So pick 2 of them. I'll start at this one and go to the next one. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. Let me write that down. And how much am I going to go over? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I can do like little dotted lines. How did you get to that point? You went up 3 and over 4. That's your slope. 3 over 4. And it's A. Is everybody good with that? All right. Good. Number 21. What's the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points? So what you're going to do with this one is use our little slope formula, right? You subtract the y's in the top, in the numerator, and what do you do in the denominator? You subtract the x's. So I'll start with the 7, okay? I'll do in my numerator 7 minus 1. Those are my y's. So then in my denominator, I'm going to do 1 minus 10. Does everybody understand that? I subtracted my y's and I subtracted my x's. What is 7 minus 1? And what is 1 minus 10? Negative 9. Now, I don't see that answer choice because it needs to be reduced. I would divide them both by 3. I get negative 2/3. Or your calculator can do that for you. It can reduce it for you. Number 21 is B. Okay. (22), what's that one? Undefined. If it was this way, a vertical line, a horizontal line, it would be 0. Okay, the vertical line is undefined, a horizontal line is 0. So that one is undefined. Remember, think of slope dude, he's fallen off the cliff. It's undefined. Maybe that'll help you remember. Number 23, this is the little direct variation. I think these 3 are. On number 23, if I solve for y, is it just a number times x? So if I have 5x minus 3y, I meant 5x equals negative 3y. How do you solve for y? I would divide by negative 3. Remember, as long as you're not adding or subtracting to it, then it's going to be direct variation. So negative 5/3 x equals y. Is that a direct variation? Yes, because it doesn't have plus something. All right? So it's a direct variation. And what's my constant? Negative 5/3. So k is negative 5/3.
Don't you always move the y number, the one that has a number with the y?
Yeah, that's the one you'll always move. It's B. Yes, 20. What number are we on? 23 is B. Aston, were you going to ask something? No, okay. Are we good with that one?
Wait, so on
Yep.
these, whenever you divide by that number,
Uh-huh.
you just keep it as a fraction?
Yeah. Because slope is easier as a fraction because it's rise over run. It like tells you how much to go up and how much to go over. Slope is actually easier as a fraction. This is not a direct variation. If it looked like this, y equals 3x plus 2. If I added or subtracted something to it, that's when it would be no. Okay?
Yeah, my other thing with that one. What do you do with the x?
What do you do with x?
Yeah.
Nothing. You just leave your y and your x there. You're just moving the other numbers around. So like on this one, I just divided by -3. I'm just looking for the number in front of x, and that's my answer. Okay. Number 24. Do y'all remember how to do this one? Some of y'all didn't like the way I wrote it, so let me try to. Huh? Let me try and write it different. So what did we do on this? You take your y and divide it by x. What's 8 divided by -6? -1.33. That's your constant. Okay? So can you tell which one it is already? I can tell which answer choice has a -1.33. Yeah. But let's keep going. So that's my equation. When I divide my y by my x, that tells me my constant. So here it is, -1.33. Then it tells me to plug in a number. The next part, what number do they want me to plug in? X is -2. So they want me to write -1.33 times -2, and what do we get? 2.67. They rounded up or whatever. Do we get that one? No? You just do y divided by x. Look at the table. We'll come right back to that one. Look at the table on 25. I might go back over 24, but look at the table. What are you going to do to see if that's a direct variation? Y divided by x. Y divided by x. Y divided by x. Let's do that. What's 11 divided by 8? 1.375. Now let's go to the next one. What's that y divided by x? 22 divided by 16. And then 33 divided by 24. Now do you see how they wrote their equation? What is it? Y equals 1.375x. Right? They used that. They divided their y by their x, and that's their constant. Guess what we did on 24? We took our y and divided it by x. And what did we get? -1.33. So I wrote that. Okay? Is this making sense now? You just take your y and you divide it by x, and it's going to tell you that constant or that slope. Okay? Then the next part, you don't even have to do because that's only one answer that matches. But the next part, they just want you to plug in -2 and see what you get, and you would get this. Okay? So on those, it's just y divided by x, y divided by x. Okay? There's our first 5 pages done. We're getting there, y'all. We are
Almost
getting
done.
Yes. All right, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept on number 26? The slope is -4, and the y-intercept is 2. It is D. 26 is D. Slope is the number in front of x. The y-intercept is the other number. It's D. And 27 is the same thing. We're doing the same thing. It's just we're writing it this time. So it's y equals mx plus b. What would I write? Y equals -5x minus 3. If it would have been a positive 3, I would have put a plus 3. But -5x minus 3. So what is that answer? A. 27 is A. Okay. I think we've done all these, haven't we? Did we not do these as we went through the lessons? Okay, but I'll still go over them. Can I keep going? Yep, wait, okay. Eight, the first thing you need to do is find the slope. They give you the 2 points, right? I think I pressed that right. Yeah. So we need to go from this point to this point. So how many am I going to go down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So down 5, I'm going to write a -5. Then how many do I need to go over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So down 5 and over 8. You should already be able to tell your answer. What is the slope? Which one has -5 over 8? A. All right, now, but let's check and make sure that other number means it's our y-intercept. That means where it crosses the y-axis. This is your y-axis. So does that look like it makes sense? Does it look like it's at 7/8? Yeah, that's almost 1. So it is.
How did you do that?
How did I do what?
Can you see if I left my math binder in here?
No standing.
Is that it? There's a binder right there on the
This thing.
middle in the middle of the room.
I'm sorry, I can't see it. Okay.
Is that yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at the other.
Yeah, those are great socks.
I don't get the Y-intercept.
She has a concussion? Is that what you said?
She probably does, more than likely.
Well,
Knowing her, she probably does.
She got hurt last night?
Well, I mean, they
She
were
did
throwing
that
us
She
around.
punched me in the nose last night.
You had a fight?
Scotty body
No,
slammed
she was
me.
slinging for a ball in her elbow.
Uh,
She
tried
to elbow
the
other
girl.
elbows very clear.
Sky is one of the most physical basketball players I've
I
ever
know.
seen.
It hurt.
She's more physical than the boys. That's
She
what's
hit me and I
crazy.
was like, dude, chill out, I'm your teammate.
Okay,
So one time she
Sure.
said, Jessica.
back to math. All right, so our slope is -5/8. Somebody was asking how. Okay, on the slope part, do you need help on the slope part? Yes. So they give you 2 points. You start at the one.
Wait, no. Sorry.
No.
Y-intercept.
The y-intercept. Okay, so you're good with the slope, but you can already tell your answer. It's the only one with that slope. Now, the y-intercept, where is it crossing the y-axis? The line goes through it right here at this point. That's almost to the 1. Do you see that? It's almost crossing it at the 1. Is 7, does that make sense for it to be 7/8? It's almost, what is 7/8? Divide it.
This is 1.
But
It's not on the
you
1.
can't really look.
It's not on the 1. It's close.
Right up under.
It's really, really close to the 1, but it's not on it.
That's the one. It's right. Okay, but do you see a 1 anywhere on the paper? Do you just assume it's
Okay,
right?
so I don't.
So if you take your calculator and you press 7 divided by 8, you would see it's really, really close to the number 1. Is that point really, really close to the number 1? That's what I wanted you to see. It's like, is it like point? No, I don't. What is 7/8? Let me see. 7 divided by 8 is 0.875. That's really close to 1. Maybe, kind of. Okay. Next one. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for the points. The first thing we need to do is find the slope, right? So I'm going to subtract my y's, 5 minus 2, and subtract my x's, 2 minus 9. If you wrote yours different, it's fine, as long as you were consistent. What's 5 minus 2? And what's 2 minus 9? So do we see a slope of -3/7? Yeah, so we can already tell our answer. But I'm going to finish the problem, okay? Do they give me some numbers? They don't give me my y-intercept, but they do give me x's and y's. Remember that? So I'm just going to go with the 2 and the 5. That's an x, that's a y. And guess what? This is my equation. mx plus b. So my y is, what did I pick?
2.
5. My slope is -3/7, and my x is 2. Well, what's -3/7 times 2? -6/7. Okay, you just multiply the numbers. 2 times 3. Then what do I do to solve for b? Add 6/7. Guess what? Your calculator does that for you, okay? You would just type in your calculator 5 plus, and I like to put mine in parentheses, 6 divided by 7. And when I press math enter, it's going to give me 41/7. If I add that, it's going to tell me 41/7. That's your y-intercept. Yep, so 29 is D. 4 left.
So your M is your Y, right?
Your M is your slope.
Yes.
Your B is your y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis. So you have an X, a Y, an M, and a B.
So you do 5 minus 2 is 3, and then 9 minus
2 minus 9 is -7.
-7. And then that's where you got your.
That's your
You choose
slope.
one of them things and you do your X and your Y. Like you plug in your Y, which is 5.
Yeah, so you could have used 9 and 2, but we picked the x and y, 2 and 5, and plugged those in. Here's my 2 and my 5. Then I find my b, which goes right here at the end of my equation. Because we had to find what number was going to be our end number, which it's 41 over 7. Can we do another one like it? Okay.
Wait.
Yeah, I have some of y'all are copying, so I'm waiting a second. Okay, number 30. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 1 like 29. Sorry, already forgot. If I have -2, 3, and 1, 4. I'm going to make those up. All right, I want you to write an equation for that line in slope-intercept form. Slope, that's what I need to find first. So I'll do 3 minus 4. Those are my y's. And then -2 minus 1. Those are my x's. What is 3 minus 4? -1. And what's -2 minus 1? -3. Well, really, what's a -1 over a -3? That's my slope, 1/3. Now, I'm going to take my slope, and I need my y-intercept. I need to write an equation. The two things that you need to have filled out are, I made it up. I made it up. M and B. Those are the two things. Yes, I know my slope already. Here it is right here. That goes here. I still have to find my B. And they give me enough information to do that. It's like a puzzle. Let's plug in some things and find it. Here's an X and a Y, and here's an X and a Y. Which one do y'all want to use?
One of them.
Me too, because it's positive numbers, and I like positive numbers better. Okay? So I'll do the 1 and the 4, and I'm going to plug them in. So for the Y, what one do I use? 4. My slope is 1/3. My X is 1. And I'm trying to find that B. So 4 equals 1/3 plus B. Then what do I do?
1/3 times 1.
Yeah, well, 1/3 times 1 is 1/3. So now I'm going to subtract 1/3 from both sides. And if you're terrible with fractions, let your calculator do it. What's 4 minus 1/3? In 2/3, what is that? 11/3? What does your calculator give you?
4 times 1/3.
11?
11/3.
11. Okay. So you could have either gotten 11 over 3, and some of you did that in your head without the calculator, got a mixed number. That's great too. You can do that. And you got 3 and 2/3. Right? Isn't that what you said?
So then your B just
So
equals
your B,
11/3.
that's the same thing. And you would just plug it back in. So you have y equals 1/3 x, there's my slope, plus 11/3. Or 1/3 x plus, what did we say, 3 and 2/3. Okay, I would have taken either answer. But
Why'd you take all the numbers out?
what did I take? Oh, because all you need is your slope and your y-intercept.
Oh.
Your x and your y are always x and y. You just used them for a minute.
And then you
To,
just
and then
get
you,
rid of them.
yeah. You just use them to find the slope and the y-intercept. That's what they're there for. Okay, number 30. I'm actually going to do a graph stamp. We got, what?
Do we have to graph this one on the test?
I'm thinking that I have it to where you do have to graph it on your own. So I'm going to show you, and don't have an answer choice. I can look in a second and see if y'all want, because we'll have time. I can kind of go through and see how they match up for y'all and tell y'all. Okay, number 30. So y equals 4x minus 3. I'll write it here. Where's my starting point? I'm going to go down where?
3.
Down 3. Does everybody see that? That's my y-intercept. That means on this y-axis, I go down to 3. 1, 2, 3. I mean down to -3. But, okay? Does everybody understand that part? That's what that number's there for. It's to tell you where to go up or down. Down 3. 1, 2, 3. From there, I use my other number in front of x now, my slope. So it's not written as a fraction, so you can write it if that helps you. It's 4/1, right? So from here, I'm going to go up 4 and over 1. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. There's my second point. Thank you. So I'm going to draw my line. That was a pretty good line. Question? No? Yes. Oh, really? Is that what you thought? We could see it in your face. I think it's pretty good. All right, questions on that? Yes, no? I think there's another one like it, right? Yeah. So the next one's just like it, so we'll do that one. Do you have a study guide?
Yeah, it could be wrong.
Oh, and I guess you needed to know what answer choice that was, right? Sorry. See which one matches. It was D. Because it was going through this point 1, 1. That one's not going through. Well, I can't even tell where these points are, actually.
It could have been either C or D.
30 is D.
That's right.
Because 1, 1 would have been like right here, I think. I think it misses it. Okay. I believe on your test, though, you just graph it on your own. To me, I think it's easier graphing on your own instead of picking which one. Okay, 31, the same thing. What's my starting point on this one? Again, down 3. 1, 2, 3. That's what that -3 is for. Now from there, where am I going to go? Not up to. Down 2 and over 1. That is a -2. So you are going down 2 and over 1. And then you draw a line through that.
Yeah, I hope. Wait, are all of you?
Oh, that one's not as good.
I hope so.
Where you graph it on your own? Yeah, I'm going to look and see in a second. Okay, yeah, and your answer on 31 is A. All right, then the last two. Number 1, what are the domain and the range? So this is how I would write it. I would do a domain and a range, and I would just list my numbers.
You want them in order?
I like to put them in order. It makes easier. I won't mark it off because these papers don't even put them in order sometimes. I like them in order. But so I'm going to write them in order. Domain are my x values. What are my x values? -4, -9, -4, and 8. So the way I would write mine is like that. -9, -4, 8. You only have to write it once. I just need to know what's in there. Okay? What's my range?
-8, -5, 2, and 12.
Yeah, -8, -5, 2, and 12. She did them in order too. I won't take off if you don't do them in order. But that's all it is. You just list, you just list them.
Is this test from all that we've done?
Yeah, well, not everything. I didn't include a lot of the, reading those graphs and like function stuff. I couldn't include everything, but I picked equations and inequalities. Those are important. You'll see all that again in Algebra 2. And then some function stuff, like here's one about functions. You'll see all this domain and range again in Algebra 2. I try to just highlight some certain things. And then some of Chapter 5. Okay, vertical line test. Y'all, I wouldn't use the vertical line test, honestly. I would just see if any of my x values repeat. That's a little bit easier. Okay, so 0, -5, -3, -5. Is that a function? No.
I thought you looked at the Y value.
No, the x values can't repeat. If you look at the x. So it's not a function because the -5 goes with a 1 and a -5.
Wait,
Your x values cannot repeat.
Is X kind of a full line out?
So that's your first
so
one.
they overlap, it's not a function.
So, because basically if I was to graph that, I would go over to -5 and down, and I mean, I'm sorry, up 1, and this one says over -5 and down 5. Would that pass the vertical line test? No. So you could graph it as well and see, oh, a vertical line would go through 2 points.
No, because it doesn't pass the vertical line.
Yeah, all you have to do is just put no. Y'all look, for a second, I'll put this up here. It's all the answers in case anybody missed something.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, can y'all even see that? Here, I'll just do the top half. And,
This is my backpack right now.
thank you. So, let me stop recording.